Good morning! Before you even think about hitting that snooze button, remember this: the battle starts now. Every morning you have a choice to chase greatness or to settle for average. And greatness doesn't come from comfort zones. It's forged in the moments you push yourself, when no one else is watching. When your alarm goes off, that's life asking you one question: how bad do you want it? Most people will roll over, pull the blankets tight, and promise themselves they'll start tomorrow. But not you. You're different. You know that tomorrow is a lie we tell ourselves to feel better about quitting today. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. This simple truth is the foundation of achieving anything worthwhile in life. Most people spend their days avoiding discomfort, sticking to what feels safe and easy. They choose routines that require little effort, conversations that don't challenge their views, and workouts that don't push them to the edge. But if you want to be different, if you want to accomplish things that others can't even imagine, you have to embrace discomfort willingly and consistently. Pain is the pathway to progress, and every moment of struggle is an opportunity to grow stronger. Think about the last time you truly struggled with something. Maybe it was a brutal workout, a difficult conversation, or a project that demanded more from you than you thought you could give. In those moments, you probably wanted to quit, to find an easier path, or to convince yourself that you've done enough. But if you pushed through, even for just a little bit longer, you walked away changed. That's the power of discomfort. It strips away the lies we tell ourselves about what we can and cannot do. It exposes our weaknesses, but also reveals our untapped potential. Most people misunderstand pain and discomfort. They see them as signs to stop, as indicators that they're on the wrong path. In reality, pain is a sign that you're doing something right. When your muscles burn during that last set of squats, they're tearing down so they can rebuild stronger. When your mind screams at you to quit halfway through a long run, it's testing your willpower, giving you a chance to prove just how bad you want it. Discomfort is a signal that you're stepping into territory that will force you to adapt, to grow, to become something more than you were yesterday. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting to feel ready before they act. They wait for motivation to strike, for the stars to align, for that mythical day when everything feels easy. The truth is, you'll never feel completely ready to face the toughest challenges in life. You'll always have doubts, fears, and a part of you that just wants to stay safe and comfortable. The secret is to act anyway. To dive into the discomfort head first, knowing that the only way out is through. The more you practice embracing discomfort, the easier it becomes. When you force yourself to wake up early and train, even when you're tired, you're building mental toughness. When you volunteer for the difficult tasks at work, the ones that force you to learn new skills, you're expanding your capabilities. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes routine, and what used to break you only makes you smile. This mindset doesn't just apply to physical challenges. Emotional discomfort is just as crucial to embrace. Having hard conversations, admitting when you're wrong, asking for help. These are all forms of discomfort that most people avoid. But by facing them head on, you build courage and authenticity. You learn that most of the fear you feel is just your mind playing tricks, and that the reality is never as bad as the story you tell yourself. The truth is, discomfort is inevitable. You can either choose it willingly and use it as a tool for growth, or you can wait until life forces it upon you in ways you can't control. The first option makes you stronger. The second just leaves you bitter and broken. So choose discomfort on your terms. Sign up for that race you don't think you can finish. Apply for that job that seems out of reach. Make that phone call you've been avoiding. When you live this way, pain stops being something to fear and starts becoming something you crave. Every day, ask yourself, what am I doing today that makes me uncomfortable? If you don't have a good answer, find one. Because in the end, the only way to grow is to keep pushing the limits of what you think you can do. The path forward is hard, but it's the only path that leads anywhere worth going. Keep moving, keep fighting, and never stop embracing the suck. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it can also be your greatest enemy. The inner voice, that constant nagging critic inside your head, is the most brutal opponent you'll ever face. It knows your weaknesses better than anyone else. It knows your fears, your doubts, every excuse you've ever made, and it doesn't hesitate to throw them in your face when you're on the verge of breaking through to something better. Defeating this inner voice is not a one-time battle. It's a war you fight every single day. If you want to accomplish anything significant, you have to learn to override that voice and act despite it. This inner voice is a master of deception. It pretends to protect you, convincing you to avoid pain and discomfort. It tells you that you've done enough, that tomorrow is a better day to start, that skipping one workout or putting off that hard conversation isn't a big deal. That voice lies. Its goal isn't to help you grow, it's to keep you comfortable and safe, locked inside your routine where nothing ever changes. Listening to it is the quickest way to stay stuck where you are, forever dreaming about the things you want, but never taking real action to get them. When you start to understand this, you can begin to recognize the voice for what it is. A survival mechanism that's outlived its usefulness. In today's world, real danger isn't lurking around every corner. The risks we face aren't predators in the wild, but rather the fear of failure, embarrassment, or discomfort. But your brain doesn't know that. It still reacts the same way, flooding your mind with excuses and rationalizations the moment you step outside your comfort zone. Recognizing that these excuses are just fear in disguise is the first step to defeating them. One of the most effective ways to silence this inner critic is to take immediate action. The longer you sit and debate with yourself, the louder that voice gets. If you give it time, it will build a rock-solid case for why you should quit, wait, or settle. The solution is to move quickly. To get out of bed as soon as the alarm rings. To start that run before you can talk yourself out of it. To make that phone call the moment the idea crosses your mind. Action kills doubt. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that the inner voice isn't in control. You are. It's also crucial to reframe the conversation in your mind. Most of the time, the inner critic wins because it poses its arguments as logical and reasonable. You need more rest, it says. You're not ready yet, it insists. But what if you flip the script? Instead of focusing on the reasons you can't, start listing the reasons you must. Remind yourself why you started, what's at stake if you quit, and how far you've already come. When the voice says you're too tired to work out, remind it that discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. When it says you're not ready, remind it that nobody ever feels ready, and the only way to become ready is by doing the work. Powerful tactic is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. The inner critic loves to magnify how far you still have to go, making the journey seem impossible. But if you break things down into small, manageable tasks, the voice loses its power. It's hard to argue with doing just one more rep, running just one more mile, or writing just one more paragraph. String enough of these small wins together, and suddenly you're miles ahead of where you started. You also need to be ruthless about the company you keep. The voices around you have a direct line to the voice inside your head. If you surround yourself with people who accept mediocrity, your inner critic will echo their excuses and justifications. But if you choose to be around people who demand more of themselves, people who live with discipline, grit, and a refusal to settle, that voice will start to sound different. It will shift from saying you can't to how can you? From it's too hard to it's hard, but it's worth it. The battle against the inner voice is lifelong, but every time you choose action over excuses, you weaken its grip. The more you win these daily fights, the more you start to trust yourself. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's earned through countless small victories against the part of you that wants to quit. So the next time that voice starts whispering doubts, don't argue, don't negotiate, just act. Prove it wrong with your actions. And over time, you'll find that voice gets quieter and quieter until the only voice you hear is the one saying, keep going. The toughest battle you'll face every day is the one that starts the moment your alarm goes off. Winning this morning battle is about more than just getting out of bed. It's about setting the tone for everything that follows. When you choose to get up instead of hitting the snooze button, you're making a statement to yourself that your goals matter, that comfort is secondary, and that you are in control. Not your feelings, not your fatigue, and certainly not your excuses. This first decision may seem small, but it's a cornerstone habit that builds momentum for the rest of your day. If you can win this battle, you've already scored your first victory, and that can create a domino effect of disciplined actions. Most people underestimate the power of the morning. They wake up late, rush through their routine, and start the day feeling behind, stressed, and out of control. When you begin your day in a state of chaos, it's hard to recover. Your mind stays scattered and your actions follow suit. But when you start strong by getting up on time, making your bed, and tackling the tasks you've set for yourself, you build a sense of order and control that can carry you through even the toughest challenges. You're not reacting to the day, you're attacking it. Winning the morning battle isn't just about what time you get up, it's about what you do once you're on your feet. Your morning routine is a statement of your priorities. If you reach for your phone first thing, scrolling through social media or emails, you're essentially saying that other people's lives and demands are more important than your own. But if you start with something that fuels you, a workout, meditation, reading, or planning your day, you're setting a foundation of intention and focus. You're reminding yourself that your goals come first and everything else can wait. One of the most powerful tools for winning the morning is physical exercise. Moving your body first thing doesn't just benefit your health, it transforms your mindset. A hard workout forces you to embrace discomfort before the day even really begins. It sends a message to your mind that you're capable of pushing through resistance, fatigue, and pain. When you finish, you've already done something difficult, something most people avoid, and that creates a sense of accomplishment and confidence that nothing else can match. This confidence spills over into your work, your relationships, and your ability to tackle the unexpected. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you choose to get out of bed on the first alarm, every time you stick to your morning routine even when you don't feel like it, you're training that muscle. Over time, it becomes easier to make the right choices, not just in the morning, but throughout the entire day. You start to crave that sense of progress and order, and the idea of slipping back into chaos and procrastination becomes almost intolerable. Winning the morning battle is also about eliminating decision fatigue. Most people waste so much mental energy deciding what to wear, what to eat, and what to do first. By creating a morning routine that's automatic and non-negotiable, you remove all that wasted thought. Your alarm goes off, you get up. You work out, you shower, you attack your first task. No questions, no debates. This clarity frees up your mental energy for more important decisions later in the day, making you not just more productive, but also more resilient to stress and setbacks. There will be mornings when you don't want to get up, when the bed feels too comfortable and the day ahead seems overwhelming. Those are the most important mornings to win. If you only stick to your routine when you feel motivated, you're not building discipline. You're just riding a wave of fleeting emotion. Real discipline is doing what you said you would do even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Those mornings when everything in you is screaming to go back to sleep are the moments that define you. To win the morning battle consistently, you need a strong why. Motivation fades, but a powerful reason will keep you going. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you can change, building a future for your family, or refusing to settle for a life of mediocrity. Whatever it is, keep that reason at the forefront of your mind. Write it down, say it out loud when you wake up. Remind yourself why getting up matters, why sticking to your routine is non-negotiable. Winning the morning is about self-respect. It's about proving to yourself that your goals are worth the discomfort, that your word means something, and that you have what it takes to control your actions instead of being controlled by them. When you make a habit of winning the morning battle, you're not just transforming your days, you're transforming your life. So get up, show up, and attack the day like it's yours to conquer, because it is. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather, unreliable and impossible to control. This is why being relentless and consistent is far more important than waiting for that spark of motivation to get things done. The people who accomplish great things aren't the ones who feel motivated all the time. They're the ones who show up and do the work regardless of how they feel. Being relentless means refusing to accept excuses, pushing forward when things get tough, and maintaining a single-minded focus on your goals. Consistency means doing this every single day, not just when it's convenient or when you feel inspired. When you combine these two traits, you become unstoppable. Most people start strong but fade quickly. They get excited about a new goal, dive in with enthusiasm, but quit the moment progress slows or obstacles appear. They tell themselves they'll get back to it later, that they just need a break, that they'll start fresh next week. But weeks turn into months and the goal gets further and further away. This is why consistency is so powerful. It removes the option to quit. When you commit to showing up every day, no matter what, you eliminate the back and forth negotiation with yourself about whether you're too tired, too busy, or not in the mood. There's no debate, no decision making, just action. The key to building this kind of consistency is creating non-negotiable habits. These are things you do every day no matter what, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. It doesn't matter if you're tired, busy, or don't feel like it, you just do them. This could mean hitting the gym every morning at 6 a.m., writing for an hour after work, or making 10 sales calls before noon. The specific habit doesn't matter as much as the act of committing to it without exception. The more you do this, the more you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through, who doesn't make excuses, who gets things done. Being relentless isn't just about persistence. It's about attacking your goals with a sense of urgency. Most people think they have more time than they do. They plan to get serious someday, to really commit when things settle down. But days slip by, then weeks, then years, and suddenly they're looking back wondering what happened. A relentless mindset refuses to accept this. It treats every day like a deadline because in reality it is. Time is the one thing you can't get back, and every day you waste is a day you'll never see again. This urgency pushes you to make the most of every hour, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, and to execute now. A big part of being relentless is learning to love the grind. Progress often comes in small, unglamorous steps that no one else sees. It's easy to stay consistent when you're seeing big results, when people are praising you, and when everything is going smoothly. The real test is whether you can keep grinding when progress is slow, when you're exhausted, when no one else cares. This is where most people quit. They look at how far they still have to go and get overwhelmed. But if you can learn to appreciate the process, to see every workout, every late night, every hard conversation as a brick in the wall you're building, then you'll keep going long after most people have given up. Relentlessness also means not accepting limits, especially the ones you place on yourself. Most people live their lives trapped by imaginary boundaries, convinced they've gone as far as they can go, that they've reached their potential. But these limits are almost always self-imposed. The body can go further, the mind can handle more, but only if you refuse to listen to the voice that says, "This is enough." This is why it's crucial to constantly raise the bar. If you ran 5 miles yesterday, run 6 today. If you closed 10 deals last month, shoot for 15. Every time you push past what you thought was possible, you expand your sense of what you're capable of. Consistency isn't just about repeating actions, it's about consistent improvement. Doing the same thing over and over without progress is just stagnation. True consistency means showing up every day with the intention to get better, even if it's just by 1%. Small improvements compound over time, transforming what seemed impossible into something routine. This mindset makes you not just relentless, but dangerous, because every day you're becoming harder to compete with. At the core of both relentlessness and consistency is self-discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. It's the bridge between goals and achievement, the thing that keeps you moving when motivation is gone and the path forward is nothing but hard work and grind. The good news is that discipline, like any muscle, gets stronger the more you use it. The more often you force yourself to act despite your feelings, the easier it becomes to keep doing it. When you commit to being relentless and consistent, you separate yourself from almost everyone else. Most people will quit. Most people will find excuses. Most people will settle for a life that's comfortable but unremarkable. But when you refuse to quit, when you attack every day with everything you have, when you show up consistently without exception, you become someone who can achieve anything. And that's a choice you get to make every single day. Embracing failure is one of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt if you want to achieve greatness. Most people spend their lives avoiding failure, playing it safe and sticking to what they already know they can do well. But the reality is that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a crucial part of it. Every failure is a lesson, an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. If you never fail, it means you're not pushing yourself hard enough or aiming high enough. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning to leverage it to your advantage. One of the main reasons people fear failure so much is because of how they perceive it. They see it as a reflection of their abilities or self-worth, a sign that they're not good enough or that they never will be. This mindset traps people in their comfort zones, afraid to take risks or pursue ambitious goals. But failure is not an indictment of your potential, it's feedback. Nothing more, nothing less. When you start to view failure as data, as information that can help you improve, it loses its power to intimidate you. Missing a goal doesn't mean you're incapable, it just means there's something you need to adjust, learn, or practice. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than most people have even tried. They understand that failure is a prerequisite for mastery. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, he didn't see it as the end of his dream. He saw it as a challenge to work harder. When Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he helped create, he didn't quit. He used the setback to fuel his next venture, which eventually led him back to Apple and the creation of some of its most iconic products. These stories aren't exceptions. They're proof that failure is a stepping stone to success if you're willing to keep moving forward. The real danger isn't failing. It's letting the fear of failure prevent you from trying. Every time you hold back because you're afraid to fail, you reinforce the idea that failure is something to avoid at all costs. This mindset becomes a self-comfort is seductive. It lures you in with promises of ease, security, and predictability. It's the soft bed that makes it hard to get up in the morning, the familiar routine that stops you from trying something new, the reassuring voice that tells you you've done enough for today. But comfort is also a trap, one that slowly but surely robs you of your potential. If you want to achieve anything significant, you need to train yourself to do the exact opposite. Seek discomfort. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Every time you push yourself to do something hard, something uncertain, something that makes your heart race and your mind scream for you to stop, you expand your capabilities. The more often you do this, the stronger you get. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. The reason discomfort is so powerful is simple. It's where all the learning happens. When you're comfortable, you're not learning. You're coasting. Your brain isn't being challenged, your body isn't adapting, and your skills aren't improving. But the moment you step into discomfort, whether it's a brutal workout, a difficult conversation, or a new skill you've never tried before, you force yourself to adapt. Your muscles tear and rebuild stronger, your mind develops new strategies, and your confidence grows as you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. Discomfort is the price of progress, and the more you pay it, the greater your rewards will be. One of the most powerful ways to seek discomfort is through physical challenges. Your body is capable of far more than your mind wants to admit. The mind's primary job is to protect you, to keep you safe, and conserve energy. That's why it screams at you to stop the moment things get tough. But your body can keep going long after your mind wants to quit. When you force yourself to push past that mental barrier, to run when your legs are burning, to lift when your arms are shaking, to keep going when every part of you wants to stop. You start to rewrite the script in your head. You prove to yourself that discomfort won't kill you, that it's temporary, and that you can survive it. This realization is life-changing because it doesn't just apply to physical pain. It applies to every challenge you face. Seeking discomfort isn't just about pushing your body, it's about pushing your mind as well. This means embracing uncertainty, taking risks, and doing things you might fail at. Most people avoid these situations at all costs because they hate the feeling of not being good at something. But being bad at something is the first step to being great at it. If you only stick to what you know, you'll never grow. Every skill you admire in others was once a weakness they struggled through. Every master was once a beginner who failed over and over until they got it right. The faster you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable, the faster you'll improve. The people you spend time with also play a huge role in your relationship with discomfort. If you surround yourself with people who choose comfort, who avoid challenges, and who never push themselves, you'll start to adopt the same mindset. But if you spend time with people who live outside their comfort zones, people who embrace hard work, who chase big goals, who see failure as a stepping stone, their mindset will start to rub off on you. You'll begin to see discomfort not as something to be feared, but as a sign that you're on the right track. It's also important to understand that seeking discomfort doesn't mean living in a constant state of misery or recklessness. It means making a conscious choice to do things that scare you or challenge you because you know they'll make you better. It's about trading short-term comfort for long-term growth. It's choosing to wake up early to work on your goals instead of sleeping in. Choosing to have that difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. Choosing to take a risk on that business idea instead of settling for a job that doesn't inspire you. Every time you make one of these choices, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, seeking discomfort becomes a habit. even an addiction. You start to crave the feeling of pushing your limits, of proving yourself wrong, of doing things you once thought were impossible. What used to scare you starts to excite you because you know that every moment of discomfort is making you stronger. You stop looking for shortcuts and easy wins and start seeking out the hard path, not because it's hard, but because you've seen what happens when you choose it. You've felt the pride that comes from doing something difficult and coming out the other side stronger. Comfort is the enemy of achievement. It keeps you small, stuck, and safe. Discomfort is the path to greatness. It's the feeling of tearing down old limits and building something new in their place. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. And stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The fear never goes away, but neither do the rewards if you're willing to seek out the hard things, embrace the uncertainty, and live outside your comfort zone every single day.